I stuck the cough button on purpose to give you more time to talk.
Thank you. It's in my contract, this one-day contract.
But we were both on TV together, so that's all that matters.
You've never sounded better. Here we go. North Dakota State has it first.
More importantly, I didn't mess it up. See, that's it.
I was wondering if they were here. I was going to let you go. Trayson Anderson digging down low for two. There is some size here. 6'9", 245 out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Trayson Anderson has the first two for North Dakota State.
Well, I like that mindset because this is a team that loves to shoot the three, top 40 from a percentage perspective. But they went right inside to the point. And how about that attack defense on Kohler inside?
They'll help off of Jackson Kohler. Fears declined on the three. Handed off for Carson Cooper. And there's the advantage for Michigan State. Yes, there is some size for North Dakota State. Cooper at 6'11", Kohler 6'10", would be the tallest guys in the lineup for North Dakota State. Here is Markai Strickland aggressively to the rim.
But the name kind of sounds familiar. His father, Mark Strickland, played in the NBA, particularly for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, there's a Strickland on this team. There's a Marley on this team. Jackson Kohler has been filling it up from three. He's shooting it a bunch more than he did last year, and that's a big component.
But that's the progression of this young man's game since he's been a freshman. Dropped a little bit of the body fat, got himself in better shape, and as a result became a better shooter and rebounder.
Here's Andy Stefanowicz, a legacy for North Dakota State off the turnover. Tom Izzo, his first NCAA tournament game 28 years ago against in-state opponent Eastern Michigan and Earl Boykins. Every NCAA tournament that's been played since then, he's been involved in it.
That's unbelievable, the consistency, and I know he's still searching for one more championship. You think about this, it was 40 years ago when Tom was a graduate assistant on Glenn Brown's staff at Northern Michigan. Dropped in the car, had to go recruit in North Dakota. So scouting trip to Grand Forks, and also to Fargo to watch North Dakota State. Ironic that he opens up the tournament playing the Bison.
Yeah, he was reminiscing about that road trip over the past couple days.
I bet he was. How cold it was, too.
It's not warm here. Fears the pull-up. He missed it. Rebound for Strickland and North Dakota State. Out of the Summit League, which is the same league but with a different name that Valparaiso came out of in 1998 with Bryce Drew that same year, as that turnover will go to Michigan State. David Richmond is a North Dakota native. He's from Wahpeton, North Dakota, which is
Wahpeton. 12 times.
Wahpeton.
12 times.
Are you trying to get me fired even before I finish the fourth game?
I mean, you go do that yourself. So
Thank you.
Okay, good.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Jim Jackson. Cards and letters to him, please. Here's Jeremy Fears dumping it down low and taken away. Stefanowicz for North Dakota State all the way to the rim for two. Andy Stefanowicz, whose parents both played at North Dakota State back in the D2 days, and we'll get a whistle against the Bison.
Well, you see this a lot. Play the top shoulder, allow the double team to come from the baseline, and Jackson Kohler has to be aware of that. That if a guy is playing you top shoulder for a reason, you know the double team and it is coming from the baseline. They want to force you that way. So excellent job of executing that and converting and transition offensive foul.
It's on Jeremy Fears Jr. and he looks right at Olandis Poole, the official. Now that is huge news for two reasons. They can't have Fears in foul trouble, but also there have been games where the crowd gets into it. He's on tilt a little, maybe. The opponents think, even if he's not, right? And maybe they try to get under his skin a little bit, considering everything that's gone on.
But if you're the opponent, that's what you want, because either you want him rattled, in foul trouble, or a combination of two of those things together, okay? This is where, as the leader of this team, he has to maintain his poise and presence, knowing how important it is that he's not sitting next to Coach Izzo on the bench.
It's a big challenge. Stefanowicz in the corner, hopped into it and missed it. Kohler clears the rebound, and Michigan State always wants to run. Jordan Scott, the freshman, missed it on a defense from Stefanowicz.
Stefanowicz seems to have his imprint early on this game.
Oh, how'd that get through? Strickland finishes. Carson with needlepoint. Kohler trailer, didn't take the three. Michigan State on an average of nearly 80 points a game gets it downstairs, and Kohler, that's swatted away down there and out of bounds to Michigan State by Noah Feddersen.
Well, watch Carson. Travion in transition. That time Fears overran that shot. I mean that pass, and then the block shot. You talked about the size, 6'10". Feddersen.
Biggest guy off the bench for North Dakota State.
Well, and that plays huge dividends because now you're not giving up size, but you got to play that pick and roll a little bit better. Not to give up an easy dunk to Carson Cooper. How about the little pocket pass by Cohen to get him going inside?
Cohen Carr was talking about it a little bit with us yesterday. Just his offensive game and the multi-dimensional behavior that he can show now. As Emil Skuta has checked into the game, the junior from Helsinki, Finland, and that's going to be an illegal screen up top against Feddersen. Timeout, North Dakota State by 1, but this is a pocket pass of doom. Look out. North Dakota State by a point. If you need a reminder that these are kids playing a kids game, here's Allie LaForce.
That's a great lead-in. So far, so good for North Dakota State. When I asked them yesterday for their keys to success, their answer surprised me a little bit. They said, it's Dave & Buster's. And I said, well, what do you mean? Yes, Dave & Buster's, the arcade place you go to eat chicken wings and play video games. That's their key to success. Their first Dave & Buster's trip was December 12th, Des Moines, Iowa. They played Drake the next day. They hit 19 threes, scored 99 points and won. So they said, we got to go again. So they go January 23rd in a snowstorm in Tulsa. Shot 50% from three, won by 30. Then they went during their off day in the Summit League tournament, won the semifinal by 24 the next day, and won the tournament. So of course they had to go last night, right? You can't stop going to Dave & Buster's when you have that kind of success.
That's 2 and a foul for Cooper. Did they go last night?
They went last night, yes. And I asked them the best part, and I thought they would answer with DDR or the race car games, and they said, obviously, the chicken wings.
College student, a college athlete's diet, okay? Hamburgers, chicken wings.
It's so good.
Even when you got NIL money.
You know how many programs right now that are watching this just went and bought like 3 Papa Shot machines?
But, you know, it's the camaraderie, you know, that I think that story tells of that team coming together, doing something as simple as going to Dave & Buster's, but enjoying time with each other. And as a result, you kind of trust each other a little bit more when you're on the hardwood together.
So you're saying you and I are going to Dave & Buster's tomorrow?
Well, if you go to my cigar spot afterward, okay, then you can go.
We'll see about that. 7 early for Carson Cooper. Michigan State has the lead. Oh, the resistance there for Cooper, and a breakout for Cohen Carr, who's going to lean over on the dribble for a moment and reset. The waiting arms of Jeremy Fears Jr., who navigates this offense. Kurt Tang is in. Instead, Carr will hit the post, and Cameron Ward. Here is Cooper with an offensive rebound, and he is dragged to the end line and out of bounds.
And keep in mind, for those at home, North Dakota State, they haven't played a quad 1 game this year, but they've averaged a little under 81 points a game. They attempt 25 3-point attempts a game, making about 9. So why that's important, Michigan State has struggled the last 5 games at holding opponents out of double-digit makes. So 3-point defense is a premium this afternoon.
Yeah, UCLA was 13 for 27 in that Big Ten tournament loss for Michigan State from 3. Tay Smith had a great Summit League final. He misfires there, and the break starts with Trey Fort, who's behind Fears. Cooper turns and burns, driving and kicking. Tang in the corner, missed it. And the rebound for Travion Carson, the first-team All-Summit League performer out of Des Moines.
Michigan State wants to play fast. Make or miss. They want to put pressure on the Bison to have to get back, load up the middle, and take away some of those paint point opportunities.
For a team that's 339th in average height in the country, Strickland, tough shot. Tremendous sticky defense by Ward. Lead feed, he got it. That is 94 feet of Cam Ward.
Yeah, but how about the pass? It's a reason why you set the single season assist record. You're Jeremy Fears. by knowing how to place the pass in perfect position where your teammate can just catch and finish. Oh, man.
Stefanowicz breakdancing, and the backside defensive help for Michigan State. Hit ahead, Ward stops and plants it. Former four-star recruit Cam Ward out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, on a 9-0 run for the Spartans. Feddersen banging into Cooper, who walls up on him and is called for the foul. 2 free throws for Noah Feddersen.
Well, allow your defense to dictate what you do on offense, okay? Block shot, compromise, transition, defense, and you're able to score. Here, once again, combination Cooper, Fears, paying huge dividends early. You know who you've been around for a while. Feddersen reminds me of.
Here you go.
I'll give you an old school name.
Okay.
Went to Purdue. He was Big Ten Player of the Year in 1990.
Brian, oh, I thought you were going to say Brian Cardinal.
No, he's not
early.
old.
It's early.
He's not old.
Oh, I was going to cut you off, so go ahead.
If you let me finish.
I know.
I said 1990.
Oh, well, I heard that. Nah.
Nah. Okay, so 1990.
In any game show, you have to jump the buzzer. Try and get in early. Who does he remind you of?
You don't know?
No.
The great. You don't know.
Who you got?
Steve Scheffler.
Oh, that's a good one. Was it worth it, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, just to get you rattled. Anything to get you rattled is always worth it.
Oh, poise is my specialty. What's your name?
No, he does. Body-wise, build-wise, he's a physical player. Keep in mind, Steve Shepard.
Oh, Trey Ford. A 3 and a foul.
Right now, the offensive execution by the Spartans has been flawless. I mean, a lot of times these picks can wind up being an offensive foul, but Jackson Kohler has been in this situation for a while. Stood his ground. And Ford able to step behind that screen and knock it in.
Well-traveled Trey Ford, who doesn't play a whole lot for Michigan State, but could provide them important minutes in an NCAA tournament.
Exactly. With nice size, ability to shoot the basketball.
Early run for Michigan State, leading by 8 over North Dakota State. Stefanowicz marked closely by Fort. It's Tang on his hip as that 3 is no good, and the rebound down for Kohler in Michigan State. Fears always on the hunt, always eyes up. He's got Kohler next to him, and Kohler's got 3. So many options for Fears, and he's going to press the right button, isn't he?
Well, Kohler wants to get in the party too. Step in 3, line it up, and just like shooting practice.
Our tournament summary: High Points Panthers get their first NCAA tournament win. Their meal plan for students features the steakhouse on campus, or at least it did for a while. Nebraska gets its first NCAA tournament win in program history, and a near raucous comeback for South Florida against Louisville in that first game we had here, as Wheeler Thomas misses for North Dakota State, and Michigan State and Wojcik want to push, and Scott will turn it and have it deflected out of bounds. It is hard to believe, Jimmy, that the last Big Ten champion came from Michigan State with the Flintstones back in 2000. Spartans trying to get back there despite the Dave and Buster's efforts of North Dakota State. Michigan State by 11 moments ago. Allie LaForce with Tom Izzo.
Well, Coach, shooting 67% from the field. What do you like about the way you're generating looks right now?
I like our break because we're defending. So when we defend, rebound, and you can run, I think our break has been good. We haven't had to do as much in the half court because we have defended well enough to get a rebound and go.
So if you could nitpick something, what will you focus on in this huddle?
I was going to nitpick. You know, our bigs got manhandled down here the first couple times, and these guys run good stuff, man. They didn't run it with speed. So our defense is going to have to be at the top of its game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Allie.
He'll always find something. Certainly Wojcik with the ball in his hands with 2 to shoot, and he gets to the rim. Denim Wojcik, the assistant coach's son, has 13 points all year, and 2 of them were then.
Well, but out of the timeout, the patience on offense allowed Wojcik to kind of find that lane and then showed off some athleticism on the finish. And great question by Ali, because it just opened up Pandora's box, so Tom can really tell you what he really felt about the opening defensive stances.
Absolutely. Great question.
Great question.
Yes.
You ask and you shall receive.
That's going to be a Kohler foul. He didn't see Wheeler Thomas behind him, so Kohler picks it up. And watch every men's game live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action. We were talking about it before the break, but 2000 was the last Big Ten men's basketball NCAA championship. It is very hard to believe, and you feel like there are teams in Michigan we'll see in our next game. There are teams that could do it out of the Big Ten this year.
Well, Michigan ahead of the class with regards to, from a percentage perspective, out of the Big Ten teams that could win it. Well, that's the beauty of the tournament sometimes, and finally North Dakota State able to get a clean look. Carson able to not get it, but in a one-game scenario, that's why the tournament is so special.
Doesn't Duke know that right now with how that game's going against Siena and Jerry McNamara? They're heating up Wojcik, who's the backup point guard on this team with the injury to Divine Ugachukwu a couple months into Big Ten play. Off the spin, Carr, explosive, and he missed it at the rebound for North Dakota State, and here comes Wheeler Thomas.
And see if Bison gets something going right here. Beautiful cross back over, now open 3 in the corner.
Tay Smith bags in at 6 in a row for the Bison out of Fargo.
Right, and the key here is, can you play fast enough to get down court before Michigan State can lock in defensively? And the answer was yes on that possession, as Thomas was able to get deep penetration for that open 3.
Fort rising to crawl it off. Rebound tapped in the air and run down by Carr. A lot of bench minutes from Tom Izzo so far. They've asked Wojcik to score, and he's gonna. He's got 4 early.
Well, good bench minutes. You're able to have fears, get a little work on the sideline, take a little time so you don't lose a lot, and you trust Fort and Wojcik there in the backcourt.
To the tune of a 9-point lead for Michigan State. Wheeler Thomas misfires from the wing, and the rebound for Smith. Nice overplay by Kohler. It's down to the deck. It's a scramble. It's a rugby scrum, and we're going to have a tie-up, and it'll go to Michigan State. Back to Denim Wojcik, who has been very much pass first this year.
Well, but here's an opportunity for him to get in the lane, and when you're feeling good about your game, now you see those gaps where the openings are, because you're looking to be aggressive. Open it up. I'm telling you, 4 points doesn't tell the story, but really quality minutes for Wojcik coming in the game.
And think about how that changes the defensive game plan for whoever it is against Michigan State when he's in. If he can just put something on the rim.
Well, especially if he can finish on the inside now. He's a threat coming off that pick and roll.
Kerr Tang showed himself. He'll drive and float it and miss. Rebound battle. Kohler pries it away. Carr wants 3. That's too strong. Rebound tapped to Feddersen. It was late shot clock, and North Dakota State comes away with it.
Yeah, Colin Carr not part of his arsenal as of yet as a 3-point shooter. I think that's what takes his game to the next level. Is becoming comfortable, first of all, confident, second, from behind that 3-point line, that he can be a threat from out there.
Well, we know he's a slam dunk champion. We know in high school he's a football player and a track athlete. And there his defense was outstanding to create the turnover. Tang lost it on the deck. Riley Massey, the defensive specialist out of the state of Illinois, has it for the Bison. He played 2 minutes at the very end of the first half of the Summit League title just for defense, and he gets a steal here. Through Trayson Anderson. He'll sweep it back behind, and Stefanowicz with a nasty cut.
And Anderson with the beautiful kind of the eye contact with Stefanowicz to hit him back door, communicate without verbally communicating, put it right on time, on target for that layup.
Kohler wanted to chuck it. Instead, Fears will skid into Tang. 10 to shoot. Fears already 6 assists. Tang makes it 7. That was easy.
But he set it up, Fears did, by getting that pick and roll, and all he needed was a second to get it into the corner, and Tang did the rest.
Carson wide left. Rebound for Tang, who shot it better recently. Here's Fears barreling to kick it. Kohler. No. Carr went over everybody and couldn't pull it in. I mean, he is just an instant vertical leap. Like you.
Oh, man, we got 2 more of these games, huh?
2.5. Massey, no sir. Rebound, Carson Cooper. Michigan State has owned the glass so far, +5. Fears for Tang.
Hey.
Tang for 3, no.
No hesitation on that one, huh? He knew that thing was coming to him. He ready to go. Speaking of which, Carson, a little strong right now. Both squads finding it hard to get the ball in the net. Maybe not now.
Oh, no! Fears to Cooper. That was ridiculous. Running the lane line. Unstoppable.
Throw it up. 2 C's. What up and got it over the top. Sparty up 12.
Michigan State by 12. Here's Allie LaForce moments ago with North Dakota State head coach David Richmond.
Well, Coach, how do you cool them off offensively?
I think it always goes back to us, Allie. Like, we got to settle in. Clearly, they're bigger, more physical than we normally see. That's on us. We're doing some uncharacteristic mistakes, and it just gets them out in transition.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You know, Allie talked to David Richmond about that physicality yesterday, and he had mentioned that, you know, he watches Tom Izzo teams, and he's, you know, I'm not going to say I idolize him, is what David Richmond said, but he loves the way Michigan State plays and kind of patterns what his team is after that level of toughness, and they're getting it close up here.
But and also, Coach Richmond has to teeter the line of how much he wants to be upset with his team.
Sure.
Because this is a beast he's playing against. They haven't faced anything like this all year. And the physicality of Michigan State is forcing the Bison into those uncharacteristic mistakes and quick shots. So you got to teeter that line, knowing that that was going to be the biggest challenge that this team was going to face, was how to combat that physicality.
So let me ask you, like, if you're feeling that for the first time, what's your best counterpunch? And it's not turn it over. Fears for Tang, flaring to the wing, and he won't take the shot. Fears already 8 assists in this game, more assists than North Dakota State has made field goals. Here's Ward exploding.
Well, the counter is you can't make defensive mistakes in your rotations like you just saw there. You can't fight physicality with physicality because that's not you. You got to execute, move the ball on offense, try to move the size, and then see if you have some gaps and slots that you can get into to make some shots and make Michigan State kind of pull that pressure back a little bit.
When you're feeling that in the moment, what does that feel like if you're North Dakota State?
Uncomfortable, especially having the kind of season that this team has had. They won 27 games.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They've had their way a little bit with their opponents. They've been able to get shots anytime they want. That's a shock. Even though coaches can tell, you can watch it in tape and watch it in film, it doesn't matter until you step out here on this wood, and now you got to face that opponent and feel that strength.
There you see it off the screen from Cooper. It's the perfect example, Jimmy. He's such a big wall off that screen and roll. It leans on a smaller team.
It does, because in conference, okay, maybe you get over this screen right here, or you're able to impact how that pass is being made.
Yeah.
But because this is a Big Ten team that, again, that plays physical, when they hit you with a screen, when they hit you with a block out, okay, when they put their shoulder into your chest when they're driving, it feels different.
Certainly. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. To your point, you have to then react mid-game with your season on the line, which is a psychological test as much as it is physical, right?
Well, it is, but the challenge you have is while you're reacting, a team like Michigan State is scoring. so that reaction time needs to be cut down a lot more. If not, you find yourself down like you are right now by 17.
Feddersen turns the corner and crushes the rim. Noah Feddersen out of Menominee, Wisconsin on the attack.
I like that. Feddersen able to turn the corner, show off some athleticism. Much needed basket by the Bison.
They're out of Fargo, North Dakota, champions of the Summit League. Their first trip to the NCAA tournament since 2019, although they won the league in 20 and the tournament was canceled. Jeremy Fears loads up a three, and we're going to get a foul against Michigan State, probably Ward, coming through. Watch Feddersen here.
Well, Feddersen able to turn the corner. I tell you what, Scheffler may have been player of the year. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't turning the corner off one dribble to get inside, but found a little success.
You know, somewhere Gene Katie's thrilled about this.
He should be. My first introduction, kind of like how physical the Big Ten was getting the pick set on me by Steve Scheffler.
Oh, that's why this came up, because you got bad memories.
I didn't say it was bad. I said my first experience.
It was Anderson denied by Ward.
I had the little shoulder energy and neck adjustment after the game. How about this? Jackson Kohler able to stand his ground and then back over the top is Ward to clean up that shot.
15 to shoot halfway through the shot clock for North Dakota State, and nearly run down, and it is Ward again, the step through, and that is sleek.
But again, the physicality forces that turnover into another transition opportunity. 7 points on the break, 7 points off of 8 turnovers for the Spartans.
For a North Dakota State team that only turns it over 10.5 times per game. It's a critical mass so far. Anderson out wide for Stefanowicz. He'll cross over, 2 to shoot. He gets it on the rim and scores.
Nice. Where the shot clock got to a basket, able to finish that thing through some traffic.
And just like that, Jeremy Fears is in the lane and on the lane. And he'll get free throws on the way. Cam Ward fest so far.
It is. Active hands. Ward said, I want to get into the action here. Give me an easy one. Little Euro.
Our game summary has Michigan State up 15. They're 4 for 9 from 3. Jeremy Fears has at least 6 assists in every game since January 17th, and he's on one again.
He has 8 out of the 11 early, but let me tell you something. The background of this young man has been through a lot, you know, as a redshirt sophomore. I think he's learned through adversity to kind of hone in and focus on his game a lot more. A level of maturity has come about, and every road traveled is not the same for an individual. And having the support, family, friends, and this coaching staff has allowed Jeremy to overcome a lot of obstacles and be able to do this. Look at the names that he was able to jump ahead of.
I mean, some of it's self-made, some of it certainly, you know. But for Jeremy Fears, somebody asked Cassius Winston about having the record broken. He said that's what it's there for. That's the point of building on this program and a very proud Michigan State side. But it has been quite the adventure for Jeremy Fears Jr.
It is. It's like, you know, going to a school like, you know, Miami back when linebackers were it. You go to Michigan State, it's point guards. So the lineage, you got to live up to it. And it's a heavy burden to carry, but one Jeremy is built for.
Magic wins that title in '79 as Cohen Carr from a standing position explodes vertically.
Yeah, I don't think you really saw that in the Summit League right there. Not often. Not all you saw. It's some athletic players. Don't get me wrong, but Cohen Carr is just a different individual.
North Dakota State trying to, as Tom Izzo said, they run their offense fast. They're going to load up the shot clock down to 5 here. Feddersen, and they're going to get a foul on the arm on the way down. 2 free throws coming. How about Cohen Carr?
Well, a closeout. Feddersen kind of gave up the baseline, and once he takes flight, good luck at trying to stop Cohen Carr.
Is that the reason? Is his athleticism the reason you were talking about flying cars as we were driving to the arena this morning? Is that why?
I knew what I was in for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Free throw no good. It's time to start your engines because TNT Sports is back as your home for NASCAR this summer. Tune in beginning June 28th on TNT and stream on HBO Max.
Speaking about flying, have you been to a NASCAR event?
I've been to a lot of open wheel. I've not been to NASCAR. Okay. IndyCar for sure.
Okay.
You?
I've been to one.
It's a great time, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. I haven't been in the pit, though.
Okay.
I was in the pit at Indy because they have a golf hole that's inside the actual racetrack when I played, but not actual. I would love to be able to feel and see that.
Cooper spinning and getting fouled. A cyclonic move from Carson Cooper. Tornadic, if you will.
Show off. Show off.
The weather's been crazy. Everybody across America knows it. It's 60 degrees and it's 20 degrees. We get cyclones.
Hey, it was 17 when we rolled into Buffalo.
Cooper got the free throw.
Yeah, the improvement on Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler over their years has just been spectacular. Now, because they've been in the program, they've been in the system, they've been indoctrinated to what they need to do. Their bodies changed, their physicality has changed, their mentality has changed, and as a result, those two play so well together when at the beginning it may have been a little awkward fit.
Yeah.
But now they complement each other.
Watching him here, can you picture Carson Cooper as a goalkeeper in soccer?
I know when he said that the other day, he said he by the way, he said I was All-State too. Don't bury the story.
No, he loves it.
He said I was All-State.
Carson for 2. Travion Carson, the second leading scorer for this team coming into the game.
Oh, great trap.
And it's into the backcourt. Kurtang will run it down in the turnover.
That time, Cohen Carr got buried too close to the sideline, and once he pivoted, he was right almost into the bench of the Bison. He turned it over. Let's see right here. I mean, when North Dakota State has been operating quickly, they've been able to get some shots.
Oh boy, return to sender Carr against Carson.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're saying not a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, you try it a couple times to see if you can get away with it. That time, it was great timing. Carson didn't create enough space to get that shot up and over the top of Carr. Nice.
Stefanowicz lined it up and missed it. Cooper tipped the rebound off the backboard. Hey, use the crossbar if you need to. Oh, Fears has Wheeler Thomas hounding him. Kohler got the feet set. He missed it left. Wheeler Thomas on the rebound, down to a minute to go in this first half. And the legacy guard, Andy Stefanowicz for North Dakota State, off to Wheeler Thomas. That's a real tough look for 3. Fears scanning the horizon to lob it up. No way! Cohen Carr makes Buffalo his own personal spotlight. Strickland, no. I mean, it's like he's dangled from the rafters. Carr. Timeout, Michigan State.
Well, you can tell these two work together because Jeremy has no fears that Cohen Carr can't go and get this one and throw it down.
Out of the Tom Izzo timeout, Michigan State will have possession, up by 20. Trying to get to the second round to take on Louisville. As you know, these are highly tuned athletes, but everybody's shoes still come untied.
Very observant of you.
Thank you.
Jason. Probably the only one that not only thought about it, but brought it to life.
Yeah. And maybe Matt Lipp, our director, who called for the camera shot.
Oh, way to throw him under the bus. Jeez Louise, man.
10 to shoot for the Spartans. Fears has it on a string. They'll blitz him. He'll spike it. Cooper, Kohler, what a catch. Second chance, out of bounds to North Dakota State. That was a sticky grab, but he couldn't finish.
Caught it like a tight end. Just could not squeeze it in. It'd be something if North Dakota State could get something positive here. A shot made before the half just to carry something with them positive in the halftime.
But if you're a better seed, this is the kind of half you long for in the tournament's first round.
Well, and coaches always worried, okay, my team going to take the higher seed, the lower seed lightly.
Wheeler Thomas got it across the way. Carson rings it out. And Michigan State did none of that, Jimmy, that you're talking about. No taking anybody lightly. The Spartans, off of back-to-back losses to close the regular season of the Big Ten tournament, have come out firing 45-25.
Early in the game, the Bison were able to get a couple baskets inside, but then the physicality just took over for the Spartans.
Carson Cooper had 14. He's with Allie.
Carson, what has gone into this team being so in sync right now?
Yeah, I think, coming off a tough loss to UCLA, we wanted to come out and punch first. And we come out with the physicality that we need, so we're going to be in good shape.
What would be the message from you as a leader, and I know the coaching staff, to keep your foot on the gas, especially with the lead this big?
Yeah, I think it's relying on our defense. We did that pretty solid in the first half. Still let up some easy buckets, but it's just locking down to that.
Thank you, Carson.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Yep.
Jackson, Michigan's finest. Carson Cooper with 14 of the first half. Coming up, AT&T at the half, scores and highlights, and the lot NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up. AT&T at the half. The rush of Niagara Falls here just off of Buffalo, and our first half stats presented by Reese's. Michigan State by 20. The rebounds only +4, but the bench was quite deep for the Spartans in that first half. And Jimmy, Michigan State had the ideal first half for a 3-seed, it felt like.
They did. Every coach's dream from the expectation that you go out, you don't take your opponent lightly. Early on, North Dakota State was able to get a couple baskets easy, but from that on, it was just the dominance, the physicality of the Spartans, whether that was in transition, the execution in their half-court set, the unselfish nature. Look, 16 made baskets on 12 assists. That just tells the whole story right there.
Allie caught up with David Richmond, the head coach at North Dakota State. Allie?
I did. He told me, listen, it's the environment first and foremost, the length, the physicality, the athleticism. We didn't see much of that this year, and our scout team certainly can't replicate it, he told me. But then they hit a couple threes, and that's when the team's panic level went up. He said it comes down to us, one play at a time, no 20-point possessions in this game, and just reinforcing that on a minute-by-minute basis, guys.
Yeah, one turnover there. Strickland on the drive. He'll drop it off, and they'll get 2 and a foul for Trayson Anderson barreling to the rim.
Well, one possession at a time, and you can get a stop, and you can get out and run and get some easier opportunities. This time the concentration was there for Anderson to catch and finish it. And the key for the Bison is don't beat yourself. You know the physicality is there, but if you can get shots on goal and not turn it over.
Oh, there's a shot on goal for Carson Cooper right down Main Street.
Well, the unfortunate part too is that you got a good team on the other end of the court that is thinking the same thing.
That was an empty net goal.
Yep.
In hockey terms. Michigan State is just so quick into their offense with Jeremy Fears. We saw
that's make or miss.
Yeah,
that's make or miss, and that's what all coaches that tell you, scouting report, make or miss. You got to get back and get balance. Like I said, when you don't see it in conference or you can't duplicate it in practice, you just don't know how fast and forceful this Michigan State team is.
Case in point, the Jackson Kohler defense on that last possession. It's a lot of length that's vertical.
Yeah, and that can rotate quickly.
Carr, they'll double him. He'll have to rip through, and he'll get fouled. Jordan Scott was getting ready to let ride a three. It's time for our AT&T connected cam as Carson Cooper comes to visit.
Well, deep penetration, little dribble penetration by Scott in the C's part. It kind of like over at Niagara Falls over there, you know.
He got as close to the rim as the made of the miss does. Kohler.
Yeah. Well, for a minute there, too, it was point paints were pretty close. Now, the Spartans are plus 10, 28-18.
They're the fourth best offensive rebounding team in the country. They're number one in prevention, and their defense gets cracked a little bit on the Carson make.
But talking to Coach Tom Izzo, he said, Jimmy, we were plus 12 rebound margin. End of the year, we were plus 6. We got to get that back up. So not rebounding the ball as well collectively as a group was an emphasis coming out of the Big Ten tournament into March Madness.
And you've talked to him throughout the year. We have together. One of the things that's been on his mind all season is the turnover number. He just feels like they are so much better of a team without a big turnover number. As you see that ball go whistling wide, that's the kind of thing that has driven him up the wall at points this year.
But that's been over the years when Michigan State has struggled winning games and winning in the tournament. It's when they haven't valued the rock, okay? Yep. And like any coach will tell you, I'd rather take a tough shot than turn the ball in. And a lot of those turnovers are live ball turnovers that come back to haunt Michigan State.
Keeps them out of their own transition as well.
Yep.
And on their heels. Now Fears starts his move. Carr on the back end. Caught it for a one-timer, and he's going to the free throw line for 2 shots. I mean, the things that he can do in midair, most humans can't do on land.
No, it's unfair that somebody would put a trampoline right there so he can jump off of to go up and get that. But it kind of reminds me, I do games for the Los Angeles Clippers, and it's a gentleman named Derrick Jones Jr. that can just spring out the gym. But what Derrick Jones Jr. over the course of time developed, he came in the league as an athlete, developed into an outstanding 3-and-D guy, and now his offense, his shot, is a valuable tool and asset to the Clippers. So that means there's a place for a player like Carson Cooper, who may not be able to stretch the floor today, but can add value by guarding multiple offensive players on the court and then developing his offensive shot later.
Carr goes 2 for 2 at the foul line, and it's a 24-point lead for Michigan State. Stefanowicz missed it for 3. Scott with the rebound. Here's Jeremy Fears. So magnetic to draw the defense and leave it to Scott. Boy, that is Jeremy Fears in a nutshell. He manipulates the defense away for a 3. And Jordan Scott, who's been such a big piece for this team in the second half of the season, gets his first NCAA tournament points.
Nice.
As that goes down as a response for North Dakota State. And Wheeler Thomas, the Summit League tournament MVP. Winner of this game gets Louisville, who held off South Florida late in our first game. Carr forgot something. Carson to the rack. Look, we saw a 23-point lead get whittled all the way down to 4 in the first game. Somewhat of a different situation.
Somewhat of that. Now, because the thing about it, South Florida was not as overmatched.
Cohen Carr with runway.
See, as North Dakota State is with this matchup. So it allowed South Florida to kind of figure out some things. They got themselves right back in the game, got it down to like 6 or 7 points.
That's snared by Cooper. Fears. Jeremy Fears Jr., first team all Big Ten player for Michigan State. Cooper, great pass out of the double. Fears knocks it down.
That's his awareness, execution, excellent spacing. And then for Fears, a piece of his arsenal that if he gets that down pat, shooting from deep, watch out. Oh.
At the rim, there's two for Strickland. Said to Tom Izzo yesterday, it seems like Jeremy Fears is more willing to shoot it. He said he's more willing to make it now. That's why he's more willing.
It's a big difference when you have the confidence and your teammates have it. Look at the bench, already knowing. Free ball, corner pocket. While the great point guards in the history of the game know how to manipulate the defense, and none different than Jeremy Fears. That's drawing the attention to you and then finding exactly where, or actually opening up an area where your teammates are going to be involved. And he does that as well as anybody in the country. The ability to attract the defense towards him, understanding where his player needs to be to get an open shot, and then delivering the pass.
And to that point on the last play, it's just the knowledge of time and space as well. So he relocates for Cooper, who jumps into that toilet bowl shot that spins out. And the rebound, North Dakota State. But there's similar ideas, relocating and being the head of the snake as well.
Well, he did it, I mean, that time, because when you have confidence, and that's a beautiful play inside.
Two free throws coming for North Dakota State, and Trayson Anderson, the guys from Fargo, have run into the Michigan State buzzsaw to this point. 61-35. Watch Anthony Davis prank the biggest names in the sports world on the all-new series Foul Play, with Anthony Davis premiering April 6th, only on TBS. When's the Jim Jackson episode of Foul Play?
Well, no, mine are going to be Pretzel Chronicles.
The Pretzel Chronicles.
That's right.
Is that like a cereal? Is that like a...
No, it's good. I judge pretzels everywhere I go because that's something I do before the game. So
yeah. How are they here?
Hard. And
great.
Had to warm them up.
Okay.
So you got to have 3 T's. Texture,
okay,
temperature, and taste. Got to have those 3 T's.
Yep.
And unfortunately for KeyBank Arena, they had none of them, and they got a 0.5 out of 5 pretzels.
Wow. It's tough grading. 1 for 2 at the free throw line for Trayson Anderson.
Last night,
you seem salty.
The pretzel bites last night were, I gave them a 3.5.
I knew they were going to slide the names into the commentators. When you start talking about stuff like that, the crew is always like, yeah, not us. Here's who it is.
You asked.
Here's Fears mazing his way into a kick for Scott. That wouldn't go, and they're going to get a foul just because of the carnage. Cam Ward's pointing down to the ground. I don't know that he's wrong. That it might have been his own player that caused the...
And Jeffrey Anderson, official, got it kind of, well, he's saying that he got pushed in the back.
By Tang?
Yes,
yeah.
that's what he's calling. Even if it was ever so slightly, once the player's in the air, you know, that's when, you know, something could definitely happen with the player. So that's where I believe the call was made, or why it was made.
Looked like the right call when you describe it that way. Here's locked up Tay Smith. Here is Carson. He'll lose it out of bounds. At 9 to shoot. Cohen Carr will check back in. Wheeler Thomas as well.
But I tell you something, as simple as this, the play the Bison just ran, probably in conference or against another team, Carson turns the corner, he may be at the rim. But that just, against this caliber of team and physicality and athlete, those same driving lanes, actions that usually work, you know, don't. Like that play, Carson could go up and just shoot.
Wheeler Thomas does turn the corner and goes glass.
He said, Jimmy, be quiet. I can still get there.
But that's not really the game that they even play. Like, they don't get to the foul line all that much in conference play anyway. North Dakota State. Tang. No good. Carr flailing for it. Couldn't get it. And this is a North Dakota State program that has won an NCAA tournament game. They beat Oklahoma as a 12 seed back in 2014. That's a splashdown. Wheeler Thomas and the Bison make it a 20-point game.
I like it. Bison kind of finding their rhythm, but then you give up a layup right after you hit a 3. Again, that relentless pressure that Michigan State, you know, puts on their opponents kind of wears you down after a while.
especially how quickly they get into it, as we talked about. Tough catch down there, and that ends up on a reverse for Skuta. Emil Skuta, the former Finnish national team player, makes it 20 again.
I tell you what, it's Willard Thomas and Fears. They got a little something going on. Got to keep our eye on when those two get matched up.
Cooper driving and scoring a clothesline from Cooper, a line drive. Carson Cooper having a mammoth day. I mean, he said to Allie at halftime, like, they wanted to come out and land the first blow, paraphrasing, and they have. Down low, Smith gets a very friendly bounce. So casual off the back iron. And Colin Carr, less than casual. Aggressive.
2 times in a row. You really good offense, and then you give up the easy basket. So you're never cutting back into the lead like you really could if you got stops after you've been able to have a positive offensive possession.
Smith just ran right into Carson Cooper. Kind of stunned him. It's a 3 for Anderson over Cooper to draw his front iron.
How about Cam Ward in the role he played in the first half, coming off the bench. There he is.
Oh, that roll he's perfect for.
I mean, it's one of those things too where you kind of find you needed Michigan State. Now again, we got 11 minutes left, but they needed a game where they can kind of, one, get out of the conference, free flow and run and play. I'm sure Michigan is thinking the same thing when they play later this evening. The grind of the Big Ten, be good to play somebody else, see another opponent.
Nicely done by Anderson there for 2 and a foul. But Cam Ward was a big-time scorer in high school. He's showing it here.
Well, and let me tell you something. You could be too if you get these kind of passes.
I don't know. Yeah, that'll do it. Certainly the Fighting A-Cups with a big lead. Hey, watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break presented by AT&T and the March Madness Live app.
A-Cuff reminds me of a combination.
Steve Scheffler.
No, I mean, that was a good one, too. A little bit of Darren Williams, a little bit of Steph Marbury. Steph was highly athletic, a little bit more probably than Darius, but Darius, the beautiful thing about his game, he runs the offense. He doesn't turn it over. You know, he puts the ball where it needs to be, and then when you want him to score, need him to score, man, he have no problems doing it.
That is a very talented young man.
You think? But a high IQ basketball plays.
Michigan State has played a pretty clean game so far here today. And there's a turnover. Number 9.
Way to go, Jason.
I tried. Tough pass to thread through, and free throws for Trayson Anderson. Did you see, speaking of what's happened around the country in the whip-around coverage, Siena played 5 guys 40 minutes. Christian Jones came off the bench for less than a minute for Jerry McNamara.
I would love that. If I was one of those 5, oh my goodness. What?
I mean, just go get yours.
No disrespect to my teammates, but man, I love being on the court.
Free throw is good for Anderson. It's round 1, but you've been putting in the work for your team all season. Celebrate making it to the tournament with an ice cold Coca-Cola. Now that's teamwork. Michigan State by 20. Winner gets Louisville in the second round on Saturday. Jeremy Fears has 11 assists. He's off right now with Denim Wojcik running the point after a quick 4 in the first half in the points column for him. Kohler lets it rip again.
I tell you what, the spacing. A lot of coaches are going to say, you know, at the beginning of games, that we'll deal with Jackson Kohler rolling and popping. If he makes a couple, we'll adjust. But so much value added to the Spartan offense when he's able to do that, because he's such a really good passer from beyond the 3 or high post, that it just opens up those passing lanes when he's able to really knock down those shots.
You think about Michigan State, they are second in the country in assists per field goal made. So they have the second most baskets that are assisted on in the country, and you see it play out live in front of your face with Fears, but also like the passing of Cooper, the bigs. Today, 27 made field goals, 22 assists.
But you know what's interesting about the Michigan State program is that they've had numerous talented first-round NBA players. But rarely do you see one come in that they say, here, I'm going to give you the ball and you just go to work. You just go get your – it's always been a collective team effort. I don't care how talented the player was. And they've always been a high assist to field goal made team, and that's because of Tom Izzo.
Cassius, Caleb Lucas. I mean,
all of it.
All the way back to Magic, right? When assists weren't an official stat when Magic played.
Yeah, you know, and that's having the consistency of your head coach stay at one program. So you're going to continue to kind of see kind of the same results with regards to how the team plays.
Wojcik late shot clock on the drive and kick. Scott catapults for three.
Another assist, another made field goal, huh? It's like rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it basically is. We saw Jordan Scott's mom, Christy Winters Scott, at shoot-around yesterday.
Oh, man. At practice. And she was there, pom-poms, everything.
She was a FaceTiming machine. She was FaceTiming her mom while she was rooting for the practice.
Yeah, the practice. There she is right there. Is that? I think we can see it right there.
You got a seat location pointing at her.
Straight through the bench. She's right now. She's clapping her hands in dismay of that foul.
You want to tell Matt Lipp, our director, where she's seated, or you just want to point using your hand?
Man, boy, you the snitch, man. You just put me on the spot.
Noah Feddersen at the free throw line. Free throw, no good, and the rebound for Cooper.
Man.
What you got?
I got nothing for you.
Okay. Michigan State by 24. Scott rips through for Fort. We saw this group play some substantial minutes in the first half together. Ward spinning, firing, and two free throws coming. Two free throws coming for Michigan State. There is Jordan Scott, the freshman out of Northern Virginia. He grew up playing basketball, watching basketball, living basketball, while mom, Christy Winters Scott.
There she is. Look at her.
Yeah, still nervous, up 24.
Hey, her baby out there. Now look, now she works for ESPN. She does games for Fox, Big Ten Network, and Turner. So not only is she's Mama Bear, she's covering the game on the women's side. So she's entrenched and in tune with what's going on, and there's her baby boy right there. So the intense look is for a reason.
Dad Jerome, great player in his own right as well. Had a career overseas. Jordan has said before, I want to be the best family member, which is hard to do.
It's hard. You got a lot to live up to there, partner.
Lead at 25 for Michigan State. Carson for Riley Massey. Spun out. We're going to get a foul on Scuda. Jim's going to smooth everything over with our crew during the break.
Not.
Lead is 25 for Michigan State. Our game summary as Michigan State up 76-51, shooting the lights out at 28 for 44 from the floor. And again, 23 assists on 28 made field goals for the Spartans. This is a very clean game for Michigan State, and another strong performance from Jeremy Fears Jr. 11 assists, 7 points. He has gotten so good at doing whatever they need on a given night.
That's what point guards do. I mean, especially in college basketball. I mean, in the league, you can kind of get away with not having a conventional point guard and win big. But I still believe in college basketball, it's essential that you have a playmaker that makes plays like that, which makes life easier for his teammates.
Michigan State, 25 wins this year, They won at Mackey Arena, very difficult to do. Wins over Illinois, Arkansas, North Carolina, a bunch of tournament teams. Scuda to the rim, rebound for Kohler. Fears in a hurry. And that's going to be an out of bounds against Fort. You know, Michigan State has basically led wire to wire here, but you look and Tom Izzo has done such a marvelous job down at the half. It's not happened here, but to set the stage for possible later rounds if they do get the win. He's got tied for the most ever wins down at halftime in the NCAA tournament. He has been a master at comebacks in this bracket.
Understanding what buttons to push, what adjustments. I guarantee he doesn't like that stat either. He doesn't want to be down ever.
Scuda for three. That's just his third three of the year for Emil Scuda, the transfer from Sacramento State. Cooper clipped the bucket on the way through. Catch and shoot at Fort. It's around and out. Drive for Carson. He got to the rack. And Tom Izzo will watch as Richmond calls a timeout here. Comeback for North Dakota State.
Welcome back to Buffalo, where we have a 20-point Michigan State lead. And for Tom Izzo, his reputation speaks for itself. 28th straight NCAA tournament appearance, 8 Final Four appearances, of course, 1 national championship. And he spoke about it in his press conference and just said, you have to perform at this level. You're expected to be in the tournament. You're expected to go farther in the Big Ten tournament. Those expectations, unfortunately, sometimes lead to thinking it's a right for you, but it's not a right. You have to earn this spot, and I think that's what we're trying to do. They certainly have earned it, but there isn't a player possession that he lets these players take for granted. And like he said, you know, I don't remember all the wins as much as I remember the bad losses. And that's kind of the impact of this tournament emotionally. But every single play counts to get all those wins as he's racked up over the years. And hats off to the incredible program he's built.
How about the interview, Allie, you had in the first half when he had that smile on his face and he said, we can always nitpick, huh?
He was so excited when we gave him that layup, right, to dive into all the small things his team can do better. But that's what makes not only great athletes, but great men that come out of this program as well.
Allie, thank you. That's a 3 for Wheeler Thomas. It's 17 now. Michigan State trying to fend off a possible comeback. This is out of bounds, and it will stay with the Spartans. It's an 8-0 run for the Bison from Fargo.
Well, the defense, you know, what I love about this Bison team is that they continue to fight and continue to push. I haven't seen a player kind of slump his shoulders or give up. They continue to encourage each other, along with Coach David Richmond. So that says a lot about the character of this team.
It's going to be a challenge on the out of bounds here. So we will see what the officials come up with when we come back. Michigan State by 17. It's a renovation showdown. Whose designs will come up roses? Watch an all-new Bachelor Mansion Takeover Monday night at 8 on HGTV. Currently, Michigan State basketball. North Dakota State is challenging.
The ball has been changed. The ball goes to North Dakota State.
There you go.
On the sideline. Please put 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Jeffrey Anderson with the announcement, and it will be North Dakota State basketball. 5:25 to go. And look, you can never close up camp in this tournament until zeros are on the scoreboard.
No, I mean, especially with a team that has a lot of pride like North Dakota State. I mean, come on. I mean, they still feel you have a chance, so you play hard, play together, and that's a reflection of the coaching staff and these individuals. So let's see if they can continue to kind of make a little push here last 5 minutes.
This is a team that was going to go to the NCAA tournament in 2020 as there's a turnover. Michigan State basketball was March 10th. They win the Summit League final in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where they won it this year. David Richmond goes back to his hotel room. They watch as everything closes down merely a day and a half later, 2 days later, and don't make it to the NCAA tournament because there isn't one. And they've waited until now to get a chance to go back. Obviously different players, but Richmond, being an alumnus, one of 8 guys coaching his alma mater in the tournament this year, he feels that. It is a pretty deep emotional memory for him to know what they missed out on.
Because it's not a given. In particular, when you're in a one-bid league, it's not guaranteed. Look how almost close. You know, you can have teams that go undefeated, leaving and losing the tournament, and not get a chance to taste that. And especially for those young men who worked hard that year. Again, no fault of their own.
No,
that didn't get a chance to experience it at all.
Fears had it ripped away. Tampered with by Wheeler Thomas. Lead is 17. Wheeler Thomas wants to cut into it. He can't do it. Rebound for Carson Cooper once again. He's got 9 of them.
Could have been a big make right there to cut the lead to 14, and now you give up that, you miss it, and get a foul. And Jackson Kohler knew exactly where he wanted to go. He wanted to take up that real estate on the block. He had 2 to 3 green jerseys around him. It didn't matter. He was too deep inside the post. Got himself to the free throw line, and a heck of all-around game for this young man. Has grown so much, you know, since his freshman year.
Yeah, it's been a steady climb for Jackson Kohler. He had that preseason foot injury a couple of years ago, missed 13 games. He has become a more willing shooter from three-point range this year, about twice as many three-point attempts. And Spartan fans,
close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Michigan is here as well to take on the other bison in this tournament, the Howard team, the contingent from Washington, D.C., who just got their first NCAA tournament win in Dayton.
Because, Jason, you're just fantastic at what you do and been around for a long time. When's the last time you've seen 2 teams from the same state, same conference, play against 2 teams back-to-back with the same
nickname?
Yep.
I'd have to go never, Jim. You have one in your mind?
Not at all. I thought you did. I mean, you know, hockey, baseball, football. I mean, NASCAR, putt-putt. Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, if I can't putt it into a clown's mouth, there's not a golf club nearby.
Huh. Well, I'll be.
Is that surprising to you?
No.
Wheeler Thomas at the foul line for 2 shots at 4:18 to go, and we have we have the first towel appearance of our site. The first time we've had a cleanup on aisle 5.
Well, you know what? We haven't had a first wedgie yet. The other day.
You never know. We got 2 games left.
Well, I said we haven't had it yet.
Wheeler Thomas, the free throw. He was scoreless in the first half. Big second half. 13 points after halftime for Damari Wheeler Thomas out of Elgin Larkin High School in the Chicago suburbs.
He kind of found areas in which he could be effective, but I like he was going. Like, he's out of Chicago. Fears is out of Joliet, Illinois, outside of the city. So I'm sure they're familiar with one another, and those 2 matched up. Had some nice choice words of, you know, what you doing after the game, how's your family doing, you know, but we were competing.
I mean, you can see it right there. They're eye to eye, arm to arm.
Yeah.
Wheeler Thomas tried to back tap him. Fears withstood it, and a double follow. It's Carr that puts it home. That was like synchronized dunking.
Well, in these last 4 minutes, too, for Michigan State, it's very important minutes because they're playing for the bigger picture, which is a Louisville Cardinal team that wants to get up and down the court, can score the ball. You have some outstanding guard play. We saw what McNeely did today, Conwell.
That's big for Cohen Carr as well as you look forward in this tournament.
It really is. You know, bigs inside. Khalifa, who can pass, who's a rim protector. So you see these young men on the court. They're still playing and trying to complete the puzzle, but also getting ready, you know, for a hefty challenge with the Cardinals on Saturday.
Ooh, Cohen Carr just slid on the ground, snared that ball, and then drew a foul. That was a marvelous play, all in one motion for him.
Sparty basketball. You don't give up until the clocks hit 0. Cohen Carr, known for getting up above the rim, this time touching a little bit of that wood to secure that possession. Let's take a look at Built Better Moment presented by Body Armor, and it's the manipulation of the defense by Jeremy Fears. It's kind of like you on a golf course. The green tends to slope down. Look at all the players go to one side. Jeremy attracts the attention. He already knew where Jordan Scott was going to land. He just wanted the defense to follow him over, put it on time, and drop another diamond. That's just beautiful basketball. Shout out to my man Mateen Cleaves.
Yeah.
Clevo.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting looking at that list, and we've talked about the great point guards, and it's not an exhaustive list that we've talked about. There have been so many great ones. But Tom Izzo mentioned to us yesterday that he's had Mateen Cleaves talk to Jeremy Fears, and the word that they're using is, can he be a gatherer? Can Jeremy Fears gather his troops and his team and bring them together like Mateen Cleaves and Morris Peterson and that whole group back in 2000 to win the title, as Feddersen is going to the free throw line, but sort of a connector is what they're looking for the next level in these next couple of weeks. They hope for Jeremy Fears.
Well, part of that too is not just talent. It's the leader also has to be held accountable and be willing to be held accountable. And when you do that, you show a little bit of vulnerability. But I think collectively your teammates respect you a lot more. Because if you're just a leader by you do this, you do that, it's your fault, your fault, your fault, then that collective unit and union you talked about can't be accomplished.
I mean, you think of the game after the flagrant foul happened in Minneapolis. Jeremy Fears' response to that was 26 points and 15 assists against Illinois. Whatever anybody thinks of his actions, his response on the floor has typically been sturdy and important to this team, Jimmy.
Well, you know what's more important than the stats on his response is not placing his teammates in a position where he's not there to lead them by doing something else that keeps him off the court.
That's right. And he's had a marvelous day today as Wheeler Thomas ends up at the rim for 2 more. Damari Wheeler-Thomas has 16 for North Dakota State. They're all in the second half for the second team All Summit League player in his 4th year at North Dakota State. Ford rattles it out. And the rebound for Scuda. Louisville awaits the winner here. Jeremy Fears the steal. He's got Jesse McCullough with him, and Fears misses the floater.
Yeah, but I think he was looking to kind of set a pass up, and anytime you go in and not looking to score, then at the last second you're at the rim, you end up leaving it short.
2 for Anderson. So how do you do that? What's the adjustment?
Look to score first.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the shot, you can always pass it out. The opposite doesn't usually end well from a percentage perspective.
Carson Smith going to the bench among others for North Dakota State to get some run for some of the younger players, some of the deeper bench players. Somehow that falls down. Man, oh man, what a fortified effort for 9 in green and white.
That was good. Fortified. Fort, the third, able to go up in traffic between 2 green jerseys and use those broad shoulders. Starters from Michigan State played a little longer, and I think that's because they've been off. So now you extend those minutes even when the game was well in hand, because you want to be able to flush out a little bit more, get some more energy, more playing time from being off. And Coach Tom Izzo also indicated that they lost, you know, early in the Big Ten tournament, but it gave them an extra day or 2 of practice, which they needed.
It's the ultimate discussion of does it help you to win the conference? It depends on your situation. You want to win every game you play. As Carson Smith is in, Max Marley, Dan's son, has checked in. Riley Saunders as well off the bench for North Dakota State. Here is Massey, and now Max Marley, who you played basketball yourself against and with a couple of dads here for North Dakota State. Lead feed up ahead. Ward, 1 more poster.
Yeah, played a lot against Dan Marley. Phoenix years when he was in Miami. Another transition basket, easy. Cam Ward, I tell you what, if he plays like this, something about being an X factor off the bench, the size, athleticism, can rebound the basketball. You're gonna need it against that quick, tough Louisville team. And Louisville shows some physicality, you know, this afternoon, which is not what they're known for. So it'd be interesting to see the philosophy on facing a more physical Michigan State team.
Certainly, and you have a Louisville team that's not licking its wounds because they won the game, but they let South Florida open the door for themselves, but that became a game.
But I tell you what, if you hear the name South Florida, you really don't know. They can play. So, not surprised that it was a game. And there's some experts that have South Florida upsetting Louisville. Okay, so don't get that twisted about that team.
No. Nick Sanders, the pass. Jesse McCullough knocks down the jumper. And Michigan State has 92 to its name. 26 assists for Michigan State in this victory. 92-67. The Spartans run away from the Bison. And since assists have been an official stat, this is the most Michigan State has in the assist column in an NCAA tournament game. So the Spartans advance. They'll take on the Louisville Cardinals on Saturday here in Buffalo.
Complete domination, but done the right way. By being able to be physical without fouling, be intuitive offensively where you're sharing the rock, you're executing your offense, getting the shots that you want, not what the defense gives you or makes you shoot. And more importantly, they came out and respected their opponent by playing extremely hard. And as a result, you're able to win, by 25 points and dominate the game. And Fears, once again, was the mastermind behind it.
He's got 11 assists to his name, 7 points as well. 92-67 the final score. Michigan State over North Dakota State here in Buffalo. TNT has VCU North Carolina, 6:50 p.m. Eastern time. We'll send you to our studio after these messages.